Hey everyone. This problem says list all the numbers from the given set that are natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, and real numbers. So here's the given set. So we want to look through these and pick out, for example, the natural numbers and pick out the irrational numbers. So before we do that, let's take a look at how these things are all related. Everything that we look at in this class is going to be a real number, which means it's going to either be rational or irrational. The real number system is broken into two main parts, rational and irrational numbers. In irrational numbers, the examples most often used are these. Pi, which is that number 3.14157, has something to do with the circle. E is just the base of the natural logarithm. E is just a number, and written out as a decimal, it would look like this. The square root of 2 and square root of 3. All of these are decimals that keep on going forever, and there's never a pattern that repeats itself. So those are the irrational numbers. Now the rational numbers can be broken down into several additional subsets. The rational numbers are any fraction, positive or negative. The rational numbers are also these integers. So the integers are -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. And all these integers are also rational numbers. But included in these set of integers are a subset called the whole numbers. Now what are the whole numbers? The whole numbers include 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So the whole numbers has a subset. So if we kind of work our way from the inside out, we can see that we have natural numbers starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the things you count with. Those are natural numbers. You throw in 0 and you got the set of whole numbers. So these two things together are whole numbers. Now keep in mind, the natural numbers are whole numbers, which are also integers, which are also rational numbers. So anything in the innermost box is also a rational number. Anything that's an integer is also a rational number. Okay, so this is how they all fit together. Let's go back to the problem and identify what these numbers are. So a -9. A -9 is not a natural number. I'm going to look for the natural numbers first. Not a -9, not -2/3. 0 is not a natural number. Take a quick peek back down here again. The natural numbers start with 1 and go up. So all we do is tack on 0 to the natural numbers and we get the whole numbers. But 0 is not a natural number. The square, 0.5, that's not a natural number. This is actually 1/2, right? So it's definitely not a natural number. Square root of 3 is not. Pi is not. Square root of 81, this is a little tricky. Square root of 81 is a natural number. Why? Because it's equal to 9. Now when you're entering the answer, you'll just say square root of 81. But it is in fact a natural number. It's just 9. Okay, whole numbers. That is 0 plus all the natural numbers. So not this, not that. Well, there's 0, so that's a whole number. And then 0.5 is not a whole number. The next whole number we get is back to this one, square root of 81. Now we go into the integers. The integers are any of those negative numbers. It's like -9, but not the fractions. The fractions are not integers. Okay, so -9. 0 was an integer. 0.5 isn't. It's a fraction. Square root of 3 is not. Pi is not. And but the square root of 81 is. So these are all integers. Now rational numbers. Now here we can start adding in the fractions to what we've already listed. So -9, that's a rational. It's rational. I know it's going to go back here for a second. See, -9 is one of these integers, but it sits inside the rational number box, so it's also a rational number. And -2/3, that's rational. 0 is rational. 0.5 is rational, because it could be written as a half. The square root of 3 is not. That was one of the irrational numbers, so was pi. So then we got the square root of 81. Notice how that as I go down the list here, everything that was in the previous set goes into the current set. So square root of 81 went into this set. and these two guys went into the set of integers, and these three guys went into the set of rational numbers. You want to be careful here because these two things are totally separate. Rationals and irrationals never cross paths. So the irrational numbers are going to be those guys like this one, the square root of 3 and pi. Those are the only two irrational numbers. The real numbers are all these numbers, all the numbers in the set. All right, so you would just list them all out. All right, that's it.